What brought you out to Austin?
The fires
Yeah.
hit last year, and the house I was living in, like, it came really close to burning down. The firefighters basically
You were in the
saved
Palisades?
it. I wasn't there at the time.
But
I
that's
was
where you were
in
living,
no,
or-
I was in Topanga Canyon.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a plane
Yeah.
dropped the retardant on the house, like barely made it.
Yeah.
The deck burned down.
Oof.
My fiance and I, well, we weren't engaged at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
my then girlfriend, now fiance, we were like, man, I don't know when we want to go back there, because the air had all that like smoke in it and whatnot. And so we were kind of floating for a while, and then I was like, do you even really want to go back there? And she was like, not really.
Yeah.
And I didn't either.
Yeah.
So I was telling Neen, we had a few spots we were thinking about moving to, and then honestly just prayed about it. And then
Ended up here.
Austin came up.
was told
I
to come
love
here.
that.
So
What was
listen.
what was the sign?
Actually, it's funny you ask. I basically I meditated, so I kind of cleared my mind, and then I asked God. I believe in God. And I basically said like Austin ?
Yeah.
And I felt all this energy like in my whole body, like
Ah.
almost like electricity, like kind of go up my spine.
Oh, wild.
Yes.
Okay.
Wild.
So kind of like I asked I didn't say it out loud. I asked with a mental words, though, language, and the answer came as a physical sensation.
That's so interesting. Are we rolling?
Not a damn chance. Not a damn chance.
Now I have questions.
Let's get it
Getting
going.
weird, right?
No, I love that.
Spiritual.
I mean, it seems like the world is taking a shift. I myself am not religious. I'm not anti-religious. I just don't technically practice anything or
Sure.
study anything. But I do believe in, I believe in science, and I believe that I believe something's going on. Just
Yeah.
don't know exactly what it is.
Right.
It sounds like you sort of have, for you to, like, it would never occur to me to put a question out into the world. And even if I did, I might be like, I might get a thing up my spine and go, oh, it's just kind of chilly in here. Right. But without a relationship with something or someone or a higher power, but without an actual relationship, you wouldn't know how to interact. And do you often have conversations or interact in a way where you're like looking for guidance, and so you'll ask a question and there's like when that came, was that like, oh, that's the high five, that's what thumbs up is in this language?
Yeah, that one wasn't subtle. It was pretty. It was pretty like full on. I think even you would have.
I would have noticed.
Yeah, I think you would have noticed. It didn't feel like a chill. But the answer is I probably should more.
Yeah.
I think the more I try to guide my life with my own head, the more kind of mess I will make of things. Yeah, I think faith is really personal, and I sort of have the same feelings as you about religion. From where I sit right now, I think religion and all stuff, they're all sort of meant as like pointers towards the real thing, which is like a direct relationship with whatever your
version
of higher power is.
Yeah.
So religion was never supposed to be like the thing you prayed to or had a relationship with. It was supposed to help you go to the real thing, So I think that's like, the crux of a lot of like heartbreak and disillusionment when people start to like actually worship like a good metaphor I think Eckhart Tolle is like uses that. It's like it's a signpost that like points toward the trail. People start worshiping the signpost, like, oh, that signpost is a little crooked. There's some paint chipped off of it. And it's like, yeah, it's just a signpost. Like, don't get too caught up in that.
Yeah.
You know?
You're supposed to go to the trail. That's all it's there for.
You're supposed to go on the trail and walk it. So yeah, I sort of agree with you.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't. To me, religion and faith and God are like completely separate things. And it's like truest expression. The religion can help you get to that thing, and in its like worst expression, it'll take you way far away from it. You know? So I try to separate those two.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in faith. I have it tattooed towards me
Yeah,
so
you do.
so I can look at it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in a higher power. But I have, when I said, I'm not into religion, or I don't, what I kind of think I meant by that is like I've never studied or participated.
Yeah.
But we talk all the time about how we talked last week about like how much of this is like was just a choice, and how much of this was just like letting you sort
Yeah.
of let go and let God. I like that phrase a lot, even though what is God?
I think that comes from AA.
I think it does.
Like kind of let go
Yeah.
and just see what happens, right?
AA is like
Yeah.
the best church.
Yeah. My
They have so many, like the Serenity Prayer.
yeah.
I think a lot of people think the Serenity Prayer is in the Bible because it's so.
Is it not?
No, it's from AA.
Oh, I thought.
Right? I mean, you got someone that can check on that or something.
Yeah. Let's look. Actually, we do have someone who can check on that.
I'm 98%
I
certain.
do. Well, so I knew the Serenity Prayer. So I was an Alatot. Do you know what that is? So Al-Anon is for people who are living with the people who are
Yes.
alcoholics.
Yes.
Alatot is for the children.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I kind of spent some time, and it's very. I mean, there's always the meetings are always happening in churches. It's very. It's very close to to religion, and people treat AA like a religion, right? You follow the doctrines. It's all a path to get to a better place,
Right.
But I thought the Serenity Prayer, they changed it for AA.
Did they?
Yeah, the last
All right, maybe I'm mistaken.
because it's something about trespasses. Forgive those who trespass against
Yeah.
us. And I think the
That's
original
in the
one
Bible.
is it?
That's in the Bible.
Then it's the other one they changed to something.
Maybe they changed that one. Because Jesus said, he said, forgive them. Right?
God grant me
I
the
don't know.
serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can,
And
and the wisdom to know the difference.
I'm pretty sure that's from AA.
Is that part of the Serenity Prayer? Or is that a different prayer?
I think it's a different prayer.
Okay, then
But I don't know.
I'm just.
I don't know.
The Serenity Prayer,
God grant me the serenity is not in the Bible.
popularized by AA
Yeah, you're right.
in 1940s.
So what prayer am I talking about?
Forgive those who trespass
Against
against
us, lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine
That
is the
might be
kingdom
from
and the
the Bible.
power and the glory.
That might be from the Bible, but I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know about that.
I don't know anything about religion.
No,
I have no idea.
I read I'm not in recovery, but I've been to a few open meetings, and they were very spiritual
yeah,
events. I mean, like they're so special how there's no leadership, right? There's no like boss of AA, and there's no one running the meeting. There's one guy like timing you, but they
Yeah.
take turns every, like the next week someone else will be doing it. And there's no feedback and no coaching, right? It's like you share and then you finish and everyone goes, thank you. Next person shares.
Sick.
And then somebody says exactly what you need to hear
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
it's structured group therapy, so that it's a safe place for everybody to realize that they're not special, and I mean that in a very you guys know what I mean, but I mean that in
Yes.
like you're not the only one who's
You're
going
probably-
through
Who's
it.
dealing
Right.
with this
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah.
I mean, we're all special, right?
Yeah.
But
we're all special and we're all not
Ex-
at the same time.
Yes, very much so. So how did you, I mean, this is, normally we sort of like want to hear like the origin story. Is your origin story around the church, or did you find church later in life?
No, it's funny we're talking about all this right off the jump. But
I had no idea we were going to go in this direction at all.
me either. How did it start? Oh, because you asked me how I moved to Austin.
You
I
said you
Yeah.
asked God, and then and not only did you ask God, you had a conversation with God in a way that I'm like, you must have a real relationship, and I'm interested in this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any more special than anyone else's. But no, I grew up a very liberal, I want to say sect or like lineage of Judaism. I went to a place called the Workman's Circle.
Mhm.
So we basically didn't really talk much about at all. We weren't taught about God. We learned about our culture, our we learned language, we learned Yiddish, we learned our music, our history. And so, yeah, I had a very liberal, secular humanistic. That's what they call it, secular humanistic. Upbringing with Judaism.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you attach to that from the beginning? Have you stayed in Judaism, or because again, I for whatever reason, my mind always assumes that someone is talking about Christianity, but I also have no idea I don't even really know what the difference is. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's deep. I'm definitely not an expert, but
like, do you have are you going to church and like are you
yeah,
practicing?
so I started going to church like a couple years ago.
Okay.
And that's sort of like a crazy story, and Christ came into my life. So what's cool is that Christ comes out of Judaism. He was Jewish. So for me, it's like it hasn't been this like hard cut. You know, like all the Jewish holidays. I still celebrate. You know, it's like all part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's cool. It's just evolving. Yeah.
I think I was wondering, how did you get into music?
Man, the honest answer is I think music got into me.
Yeah.
My mom tells this story from before I can remember. She said she was holding me in the backyard in Michigan, and the birds were chirping, and she said I was trying to sing the notes back to the birds.
Crazy.
That's dope.
So that makes me think like, oh, I was I think born with sort of a proclivity towards.
Did you have family who were musically inclined?
Not really. My dad, he couldn't even like hit a, if you're like, sing this note, like he couldn't do it, you know? So not so much. No, not really. There's nobody in my family really like, but I was just really into it. Always really into it.
Like from the jump.
From the jump. And then I had a few older cousins. I had a cousin named Tulsi. He was an underground rapper in Seattle.
Okay.
And I had a couple other cousins that all rapped. And so when I was really little, I would see them and hear them freestyling. And I really looked up to them. They were like so cool because they're all older than me.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's basically how I started. I started rapping after them. And I was like, man, I want to be kind of like them. So I started writing raps when I was like 8 years old.
Oh, 8 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so sick.
I remember I had like typed out a rap.
Yeah.
And I remember I showed Tulsi. He must have been like, I don't know how much older he is than me, but he was like, this is good. You should keep going.
Damn.
It meant so much to me. And he didn't sugarcoat it. He wasn't like, you're incredible, because I wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was like, you should keep going.
Sick.
There's something there.
He was like, just keep going.
So you were 8. Were you one of those kids like at school who was always like, you know, freestyling and beatboxing and all that kind of stuff like throughout like middle school and high school?
It turned into that in high school.
Yeah.
In high school, well, freestyling was a big part of it. And so that was a thing.
Well, you're in
8 Mile
Detroit
came
too,
out.
right? Yep.
Yeah, and so in high school, like I was doing a lot of battling. The high school football games, I'd be under the bleachers, and there'd be like, I'd be in a pit, you know, like another guy, and there'd be like a crowd around us, and
Freestyle battle.
I would just be in there battling guys.
Were you a good battle rapper?
Yeah, I was phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
Of course, that ego is part of it, but I
Yeah.
don't really remember ever losing.
Wow.
Granted, I was
Yeah.
like, you know, my little high school scene.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was somebody, you know,
Were you upset?
that, that was better than me, but I didn't run into him. You know?
Did you have like an obsession with music, or was this just something that you enjoyed doing to pass time? Like, how did that like evolve, or like what was your like relationship to it?
It was deep, you know, and I had a lot of trouble connecting with people. I think I had a lot of big emotions that I didn't really know what to do. You know, I didn't know what to do with those emotions, and I wasn't one of the cool kids. I had friends. I wasn't like a complete outcast, but I never really felt like I belonged.
Yeah.
And so music was this place where I both went and felt seen, like you were talking about in AA, because there would be sometimes in songs lyrics or other times just in the way it sounded that I'm like, whoever made this felt some tendrils of what I feel now, and felt less alone. And then also became a place for me to express the things I didn't really have the skills to express in my friendships or with anyone else. You know, I felt quite alone, but then in that world, in that realm, I could let it out. You talk about group therapy, and it's like
Right.
singular therapy, you know. And also, one last thing is, you know, I really probably didn't, I wouldn't have used these words at the time, but it was a place to open up, to allow inspiration to come through, and that gives you a connection. You know, at the time, I probably would have said just to a deeper part of myself, but now I would say it probably comes from higher power.
Like feeling like you're a channel almost.
Yeah. I mean, that's where all, I think, really great art
Yeah.
comes from. Channeling as opposed to like thinking about it. You know, that's what makes it exciting. Because if you sat there and thought about it with your mind, like it wouldn't even be that cool to you. Because you're like, yeah, I made this. But when something comes, bam, it's like, where did that come from?
Let it out.
That's what it's exciting.
Did you
When that
try to
happens.
do anything with it, or was it just sheerly for battling?
I had delusions of grandeur for like as long as I can remember, you know?
Yeah.
I remember when I was like in middle school, I think it was before I was battling, I was just like writing stuff. And then we had one of those old big gateway computers and it had like this little bad microphone on the top. And I found that there was a little voice recorder app, but you could play music. I think I was like getting music off of Napster or something. You could play music out and I could record, and it was low quality, but so the music, like imagine the music's playing and I'm just like rapping over it into this mic. But I made a recording and I like play it, and I think I could figure out how to send it on AIM. Remember AIM?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like send it on AIM to people. But what was the question? I forgot.
Did
I do anything with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was that age, like 12, Lil Bow Wow was out.
Okay.
I think there was a couple other like kid rappers. And I was sure I was going to become the white Lil Bow Wow.
Sick.
I had the marketing plan in my head. I'm like, this will sell because like I'll be like a novelty that I'm the white version of Lil Bow. And then, you know, against, you know, my best wishes, I turned like 15 and realized like that
wasn't going to happen.
That didn't happen. So that ship sort of sailed. And then by the time I was 16, 17, I had a little more equipment, like saving up birthday and bar mitzvah money. And I had a little cheap microphone. And then I was working on like an actual album of my own.
Sick.
And I finished that senior year. And I just like sold that out of the trunk of my car.
Nice.
Damn,
And-
dope.
And just like playing shows, like local, like
I didn't do
clubs
any
or-
shows.
Oh, really?
I didn't do any shows. I just remember selling the music.
Just hustling
Yeah.
the
Hux in
mixtapes.
it was I called it an album at the time. And then I had a bunch of those. It's called Reflections of a Lost Teen.
Lost Teen?
Lost Teen. Yeah.
You still have them?
I think I have a few copies, yeah.
Are they like available anywhere online or anything?
They're not on Spotify or any of those, but I don't know if you could buy the hard copies anywhere. But every once in a while I'll meet someone from Michigan, they'll be like, yo, I like your song Wednesday, and I'm like, what? There's a crazy story with that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I should tell it.
Of course you should tell
Maybe you had like, you know, you guys are the hosts. Maybe you had an idea of where you wanted the conversation to go next.
We literally...
Except for my crazy story with Wednesday.
No, I mean, that is literally where we want to go next. We only ever plan one question, and it'll be the very last question we
What's
ask.
up? Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Other
that's
than
it.
that, we're just flowing.
Yeah.
Got it.
The whole purpose of this podcast is just to sit down with people that, you know, have really been through the fire, you know, and, you know, not a damn chance is, you know, his war cry, our mantra, or at least a mantra I live by now, which is when faced with adversity, no matter how crippling, to have the ability to say, fuck you, there's not a damn chance I'm turning around.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And so the only real plan is picking people who we believe likely share a similar mantra or battle cry or something, and then just getting to know them. So
Yeah.
I think getting to know Wednesday is probably the next step in this journey to getting to know each other.
Yeah, well, so I made this album that I told you about. I made like $700.
It's probably a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
So maybe I made like $100-200. So I'm trying to do the math on how many I actually sold, but
Mm-hmm.
it couldn't have been more than like 100. I don't think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not very many.
This was cassette or CD?
CD. So a lot of people did. Like
How old are you?
I was 18 at the. Oh, now?
Yeah.
I'm 37.
Okay.
So
So
this is almost 20 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
38, 40, so same time.
Yeah. So, anyways, just not a lot of people. Like I've made a lot of music, and then my career now, I think I have 13 albums done.
Damn.
But I don't even count Reflections of the Lost Teen as one of them.
Mhm.
Really 14, including that. But it's just this thing I made when I was really
Yeah.
young, and not that many people have it
Yeah.
or have heard it. So, flash cut to, I think I'm about 31 or 32. I'm in Colorado, and I'm training for Everest, which is why I'm there. And I got introduced, I think, to this lovely young woman, and we were sort of like, it was during COVID, so we were doing like FaceTime dates at first. I like Uber Eats her a meal. We had like video dinner together. It was such a
That's
weird
beautiful.
time. But eventually we had like an actual date, a
Mhm.
first date, after I convinced her I wasn't a serial killer. And I took her on this like dirt road.
That's a great way to start
I
to prove I'm not a serial killer.
Yeah, took her on this dirt road, like an off road to this like beautiful vista, sunrise place. But it's like off of I-70, and it's like an hour and a half like up this road, and it's a really gorgeous place. And we had a picnic, and I brought like blankets and stuff because it gets cold at night.
Mhm.
And we watched the sunset, and the sun went down, and it started to get dark. So we started driving back, and then it was like all the way dark, and it's cold up there, quick, you know, because it's in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's probably at like 9,000, maybe 10,000 feet. It's not 10,000. Let me not exaggerate. 8 to 9,000 feet. But once that sun goes down, it's cold. So we're driving back, and we're probably 30 minutes, and it's dark. We're 30 minutes like on the way back, and I see this woman walking on this dirt road with no coat on, like wearing summer clothes. And she's alone. And I haven't seen another car for a while. So at first I pull by her. I'm like, no. I'm just like, nope.
Yeah.
And then I drive by her, and I'm like, I look at my date, and I'm like, dude, like, I have to stop. And like,
Yeah.
But part of me really didn't want to, because I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Like,
Yeah.
are they, maybe they're violent, all the
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
It's just a stranger, right? And so anyways, I stopped. I can't remember if I reversed or whatever, but we or if I waited for her, I don't remember. But I stopped, and I said, like, are you okay? And this woman's like, no, like, she's like, no. And I'm like, where's your car? She's like, I left it like way back there. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? Like, why, like, you don't have any clothes? Like, and she's like, I just took a like full bottle of pills.
Oh, wow.
And so now I'm just here. And I'm like, oh my God. But then I'm like, I gotta get her in my car. But again, part of me didn't want to. I'm like, it felt like because we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, this is it looks
Pitch
like
black.
it looks like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I'm like, but then I thought about it, I'm like, all right, if I get stabbed or something by this woman, at least I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, get in the car. I have a blanket in the back. Like, put that on, and I'm gonna drive you. I'm gonna drive you down. I'm gonna call the police or paramedics or whatever. So she gets in the car, and we start driving towards the highway, and I call 911. I tell them, like, I got this woman who just took these pills, and I'm driving her towards I-70. I would like you guys to meet me there, because I'm going to come off this dirt road on the highway, like, be there. And they're like, okay. And while I'm on the phone with 911, she's back behind me. She goes, hey, are you Mike Posner? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, and I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, I'm trying to
Save your life.
I don't want to say save her life because they're going to save her life, right? But like,
You're trying to help her out.
I was trying to help. And so finally I hang up the phone. She goes, oh, I love your song Wednesday.
Oh, shit.
And I get like chills up my back. So I'm like, this is so weird. Nobody but like 100 people in Michigan have this album. It's not weird if somebody's like, hey, I took a pill in Ibiza or whatever. Like, those are big songs that like a lot of the world knows.
Yeah.
But this is a song nobody knows.
Like,
and I'm not in Michigan. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm in Colorado in the mountain. I'm like, how do you know that? And she's like, oh, my boss at work is this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but I went to high school with him, and he showed me. I'm like, this is just weird. I felt like I was supposed to be here. I guess. I don't know.
It's like crazy coincidence.
Crazy. Anyways, I took her down, dropped her off with them, and
She was okay?
I don't know. It's not like they don't like send you. They like turn on updates, on your phone when you do that.
Yeah.
Push notification. No.
Well, that is like one of those weird things where it's
I'm
like,
pretty sure when I left, she was like stable.
you were just in the right place at the right time. Like something brought you guys together.
Praise God, man. Praise God.
So was the insinuation when she said I took a bottle of pills was she was trying to kill herself? Or,
That's how I took it.
Yeah.
The paramedics asked me the same thing. They're like, was she trying? I'm like, I mean, that would be my interpretation.
Because it seems like, and I wonder, because if it was that she was trying to kill herself, then why get in the car unless she had a change of heart, right?
It's an interesting question. I just did Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny.
Oh, really?
Have you ever heard of that or done it?
I know who he is, but
he does a lot of different programs. And that's my favorite one that he does. But he does he does it once a year, and on one of the nights every year he says, okay, there's 6,000 people here, so statistically it should be like 20 that are suicidal. Raise your hand if you're suicidal. And people raise their hand, then he'll call and he'll work with them until they are not suicidal. And he does it every time.
Wow.
And so he did that this year, but one thing he said is like of people that have suicidal thoughts, which is a lot more than you think. Because they'll say like, who here has had a suicidal thoughts? Like almost
everybody.
Yeah. My hand goes up.
Yeah.
Very few of them will act on it. And of those, very few succeed. So why is that? Which is basically the question you're asking. He says, like, it's not that hard to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I would think an easy way is go into the middle of nowhere, take a bottle of pills, and then leave your car. You're gonna die of hypothermia.
But his take was, a lot of these people will take the pills and like yell out and cry for help or whatever. There's another part of them that doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
And so while he's doing these interventions, he's trying to get them in touch with that part, because there's a part that knows like, there's a way for me to get out of this. I just don't know what it is. So right now, living is more painful than dying, right? Like heaven forbid, for someone in that space, like it gives you an idea. David Foster Wallace wrote about that. It's like suicidal people don't want to do suicide.
Mm-hmm.
It's just their experience of life is worse than dying.
Yeah.
And so it gives you an idea of how much pain they're in. But Tony's take is like, even in there's this deep little voice in you that's not a damn chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it needs some like opening and some
A tool.
a tool. And most of the time, this is Tony, not me, but he says it's that you've set the rules up of the game of life too harshly for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't made it so you can win your own game of life.
Mm-hmm. That
And
makes sense.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the work they do there is you uncover the rules you have been living on. Like when I first got there, I was like, what's your rules for you to feel successful, Mike? And when I was honest, before I did the program, like I had to wake up, do an ice plunge, do my meditation, got 8 hours of sleep, write a hit song, like gain 1,000 followers on Instagram, like just ridiculous. Like all that stuff had to happen in order for me to feel successful or happy
Yeah.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules it's too hard.
Yeah.
So then you go and you go, okay, that's completely ridiculous. And you write new rules. And you write like, okay, my rules for success now is like go on a walk.
Yeah. Just
Dude, if I go outside and I take a deep breath, I'm successful.
Yeah.
You know,
Just better rules.
better
right?
rules,
Better-
you can win your own game. Still have big goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your rules and values are easy.
Rules of success and happiness are easy.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So I was talking about like last week about like depression or whatever.
Yeah.
And I this is an interesting take on it because I was basically setting up that like, on paper I should be one of the happiest people alive, right? But I still sometimes deal with depression, and we're kind of breaking it down to like, does it come from being an over performer or achiever for so long that like we kind of summed up to like, now that we're at a point in our lives where we're not necessarily doing it as much, we start to feel like we're, almost phony or guilty about, and that creates the depression. But
When
I
you say
like
doing it. What do you mean it?
so like
Like we all have professions, right? So it's like if you weren't singing as much and you were doing like whatever you're doing now more
Yeah.
for the future,
Yeah, I
you start to
understand.
feel slightly guilty
Right.
or almost depressed that you're not doing the thing
Right.
that you came up doing. you
yeah,
know?
so like for,
Right.
for 20 years I've been cooking, but now with as many restaurants and responsibilities I have, I don't get to cook all day every day anymore. Yet I still get all of the praise and the, I always suffer from imposter syndrome, as I believe most people, do as well. But I had not thought about it in the terms of the rules I set for myself on what makes me happy. And
Yeah, too crazy.
changing that mindset. Like when you said that, I went, "Oh, I can do that.
yeah.
I can do that."
It
Because
does answer that question.
well, the question I think if I'm remembering correctly, my question was, or like the way that I kind of approached it was, you have to be very objective. You have to go, okay, I am objectively feeling sad or depressed, and I don't know why. All right, so let's try to figure out why. I feel this way because I'm not doing enough. Okay, that's a feeling. That's not a truth. That's a feeling. Now the objective question is, am I doing enough? And if the answer is yes, and I still feel sad or whatever, then I just tell myself to shut the fuck up, and usually that will make it go away. Or I'll realize, no, I did take the easy way out. I could have done this. I didn't do that, and then I'll just make that shift.
Try to do a little bit
Yeah,
more.
but I like this as an avenue. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's been very successful with his, mantras. But it seems like a really great, if you're not loving your situation, change the way you view your situation until you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's before I did that that program, I went off and on with depression my whole life. That's why I went there.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I got everything now, but I've lost like my motivation. I didn't know what it was. And what I learned that first year, I've done this program 4 times
Wow.
because
Damn.
it's so impactful. I did it the first year, And I was like, well, I'm definitely gonna do it next year. And I feel the same, you know.
Yeah.
But the first time, what I learned was depression is not a disease.
Mm-hmm.
In almost all cases, it could be looked at as a symptom,
Mm-hmm.
and it could also be, in my case, for sure, and I think a lot of people's cases, it's just a habit.
Yeah.
It's like a drug. People
Yeah.
don't want to be told that,
Yeah.
but it's like negative emotions are highly addictive. They're like more addictive than crack, man. Like they can be so just like yummy, and you know you get this excuse to not
Yeah.
to get attention, to not have to like do what you really should be doing, because I have all these negative emotions. So depression for me, it wasn't a disease, it was a habit. It was a pattern of thoughts I used to think over and over again. You know, if you ask yourself shitty questions, you get shitty answers.
Mm-hmm.
Why is my life not better? Why don't I feel good? Like, your brain will give you answers, but they're not going to be good ones
Or
because
you
they're
can
bad
say,
questions.
or you
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
ask the same question differently and get a better answer.
Yes.
How did I get so lucky? How did I just
Yes.
change the framing of it?
Yeah. Well, that's a different question. Yeah, that's a different question. And also it's a physiological habit. So it's a way you stand with your body,
Mhm.
a thing you do with your face, you know, this, you know.
Mhm.
And so I just pattern interrupted all those, and saw it for what it really was, which is like, this is a habit you've been doing, and then create an identity out of it. I get depression. I'm a depressed guy.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years. I cured my depression.
That's amazing.
And he showed me how to do it. He didn't do it for me, but he showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't had a
Depressive
depressed
thought.
mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have plenty of depressive thoughts, even a depressed hour or depressed mood. But Mike Posner, am not depressed anymore. And it's just, the other thing you do is you get in touch with, hey, if I don't change this, where's my life really going?
Yeah.
Where are you gonna be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Where's that guy? And I didn't like that picture. So I haven't gone back.
I wanted to ask, how did you get into this? Like, what happened that put you into this mode?
Depression.
Yeah.
I can remember feeling that way all the way back to what we were talking about earlier in the conversation, like in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff, the patterns, I think
Started early.
some of them came even from my ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
because my grandmother struggled with that, my mother struggled with that. I think my great grandparents, like they had tough stuff going on, and I know for sure my grandmother had severe depression. So some of these patterns, whether I inherited them through actual genetics,
Mhm.
or if it's just patterns that my mom modeled off my grandma and I modeled off my mom or whatever.
Yeah.
So
from
it's
being
either
up- being
nature or
around
nurture.
It doesn't
or both.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what matters is you can change them.
Mhm.
For sure. I did.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have the life I have now 3 years later. Like we were talking about, I'm engaged. Like
Yeah.
it would have been impossible had I would I have still acted out those habits and patterns?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of or done Hoffman?
I've heard of it, but I have not done it.
Okay.
I always hear great things. Everyone that does it is like, you got to do it.
I have
you
some
know?
friends who I won't say on here, but who have done it. Some have said it publicly, some have not.
They
but
love it, right?
yeah,
Everyone loves it.
I've been talked into signing up for it.
Did you sign up?
I did.
Oh, great, man.
But
I think it's great. I think all this stuff's great.
it's
You know?
it's do you know what this is?
No, I don't.
You basically go, like, they take your phone away. You live it's like a 5-day, 24 hours a day, for 5 days, and it's something that's supposed to basically dig deep into like your childhood and past traumas and relieve you of all of them. And
Interesting.
the friends of mine who have done it are all at, the highest levels in whatever walk of life they're in. And I'm, I know we just met and I'm already talking about depression. I'm doing that more for the show. It's true, but I'm not a depressed guy. I'm a pretty happy guy.
Good. I'm glad.
But I'm still human. And so I do still have like,
You still
I still fall into a funk. I'm not at the point where I can be like, I can recognize I'm in a funk. I can start to be like, why am I here? How did I get here? And then I can usually get myself out. But
Good.
the reason I was asking if you've done Hoffman is because you found such success with Tony. I was going to ask you if you have if one was better than the other, if you'd done that.
Oh, I haven't done it. No.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of retreats and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't want to do too many of.
you want to pick your doctor and listen to your doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, eventually you should learn what
What works for you?
Yeah, you should have the tools.
You should learn the lesson, then you should go like be giving it. So for a while I was doing like a lot of self-help work, and I got to a point where I'm like, damn, I kind of like learned it's time to go put in my music. It's time to go on the road, time to do shows, time to make some art with all this stuff that I learned. And then, so it was a great little introspective period. But then I think eventually, you know, you're not supposed to be just working on yourself
for that
forever.
Yeah.
But eventually, it's supposed to be like, you know, helping
But I think
others.
you are supposed to work on yourself forever, right? Isn't that kind of the point?
I think if I didn't say it right, I think what I said, you're not supposed to just be working on yourself.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your life, it becomes self-indulgent.
Yeah.
You know?
I wanted
You gotta go. I love all this stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
but go do it, and then the measure of its success. It's not the experience you have when you're there. So the measure of whether it's Tony Robbins or a meditation retreat or Vipassana or Hoffman, the measure isn't how great you feel when you're there. It's who you are when you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you better husband, father, member of society,
Yeah.
human? And that's your answer. You know. So that's the one you got to like live out every day.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back a little bit. So when did you have a bunch of like songs that like went crazy big? Like, how did you get into that from
From selling mixtapes or
out of your
did you-
car, right?
Yeah.
Into like all these like very popular songs that were like hit songs on the radio and stuff.
especially because the reason I asked if you were playing shows is because I was a drummer in bands.
sick.
Like I dropped out of school when I was 15, lived on the road till I was in my early 20s.
They lived in Burbank.
Well, I mean, my bed was in Burbank when I was home.
Yeah. No, I'm teasing you.
But back, I mean, at least in my genre, you only got anywhere by playing shows and getting seen. Like, to piggyback off of his question, like, how do you go from not playing shows and selling out of your trunk to, you know, finding the levels of success that you have?
Yeah. So that summer after my senior year in high school, I got an internship at a hip hop radio station in Detroit called Hot 1027. I don't think it exists anymore, or it changed names or something. And there was another intern that I worked alongside. His name was Pat. And Pat was in a group with this guy named Sean. And Pat told me Sean's going to get signed to Kanye. So eventually, Pat introduced me to Sean. And they had a whole crew of like 15 guys. And they eventually let me in the crew. I became part of the crew. It's called Finally Famous. I started doing some beats for Sean.
Sick.
And then I went to college. I went to college at Duke University. And Sean and I were the same age. Sean was supposed to go to Michigan State. But Kanye told him, like, don't go. You're going to be a professional rapper. But I went to college. And then I was just trying to do stuff for Sean because he was the only person I knew that knew somebody, you know? And Sean later he became Big Sean. He didn't have that name yet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Big Sean.
Sick.
So he, like, when I was at Duke, he eventually did the deal. He got signed. It was really exciting for us. He was working on 808s and Heartbreak. I think he maybe even worked a little bit on Graduation, but we were all like a part of that. Like, he'd be going to
Sick.
Maui with Kanye, and he'd call us at night. And sometimes, like, we'd be on these big conference calls, like all writing, like, hey, here's an idea, like, take this. And then he was also obviously an amazing writer too, but we were all like kind of trying to help him to like make sure he was killing it with Kanye. And then when I was at Duke, I started playing around with melodies. I started like playing around with singing a little bit.
Okay.
So like I said, I started rapping when I was 8, but now it's about 1920. And I started to sort of sing, but sing the way, I was such a big hip hop guy, but I wanted to sing the way I wanted. As like a hip hop fan, I'd want a singer to sing. So I was putting in more complex rhyme schemes with
melody.
Yeah.
And at the time, Jack Johnson was really big, and I had this idea. I'm like, I want to kind of combine like this acoustic style Jack Johnson with hip hop, like with Jay Dilla. That was like my scheme in my head. I'm like, that's gonna work, you know. And then I made this little band, and it was called Mike Posner and the Brain Trust, and it was me, my friend Eric Colgis, and my friend Jeff. Oh, he played guitar, and Eric could really sing, and I rapped, and then I started making songs in my dorm room, and one of them was cooler than me. You got designer shades just to hide your face, and that was the complex rhyme, like designer shades just to hide your face. So it was like 3 syllables of rhyme. I was like, this was just like cool to me as a hip hop fan. I was messing with that, and and then the thing was like, I sent those songs to Sean, and he was like, these are amazing, especially that one. He was like, that song's like. By that time I made that song, Sean had been like kind of doing the rounds, and he had been in the studio with Pharrell, he had been in the studio with Kanye, all these amazing people. And I sent it to him, and he was like, that song sounds like a hit song. And I was like, what? Like, I hadn't even thought about it. I wasn't even thinking that big. You know?
Yeah.
But I wanted him to get on it. I knew I wanted that, because even though his career hadn't really started yet, but people that knew him a little bit on these blogs as someone Kanye had signed, because it was like peak, like graduation Kanye.
Yeah.
Remember Kanye's blog was so big, and so he got on the song. He did a verse for the song, and then I did this mixtape called A Matter of Time. I made it in my dorm room, and Sean gave me 3 verses on it, and that was how basically it got on these notable kind of hip hop blogs at the time.
Yeah.
So that's how it spread. It wasn't from doing shows like you did.
Yeah.
And then I found this loophole, and this comes from like the entrepreneurial spirit, like not gonna take no for an answer. But at the time, this was peak. You gotta remember, it's 2008, 2009. So this is peak piracy.
Yeah.
So me and all my friends, we didn't buy music.
LimeWire,
Napster, BitTorrents.
MP3s, yeah.
We just downloaded it all for free. People didn't really use the iTunes store that much, but it had just Steve Jobs had just made the iTunes store where you could like buy the music in a clean way. And so me and all my friends that were into music, we all pirated it. But I knew like the white girls on Duke's campus, they used the iTunes store. So I was on all these blogs, the music was on these blogs, but then I heard about this loophole called iTunes U. And it was a part of iTunes made for professors to put their lectures up for free. So you'd go on iTunes U, and everything on iTunes U was free.
U as in like university?
Yeah, exactly. Now, even though these girls used iTunes, I knew at the time, like, if everyone's kind of stealing stuff, they're not going to pay. Like, if they're stealing Jay-Z's music, they're not going to pay for mine.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't even know who I am. So I said, I got to get my stuff on iTunes U. I get my album on iTunes U, but it's not like a lecture. So I need to
But all the college kids are going to see it.
They're going to see it, and it's going to be on iTunes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be free
so
on iTunes.
And then you get a lot of...
So I had to call. I mean, this is another one of those, like, I would call it God moment. I figure out who runs iTunes U at Duke University, and I find his number. It's a 248 number. That's my area code from Michigan.
Oh shit!
So I call him. I'm like, hey man, his name is Todd Stabley. I go, hey man, like, are you from Michigan? He goes, yeah, I'm from Southfield, Michigan. I go, I'm from Southfield, Michigan.
Oh damn.
So by the end of that conversation, he's like, I'll put your album up there. No problem. Like,
so
don't
dope.
worry about it. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of educational. Like, I'm a student band. He's like, no problem.
That's so
He
sick.
puts the thing up there, and then I made like a Facebook group and a Facebook event, and I invited everyone I knew, and I got everyone I knew to invite everyone they knew. And I called my friends that I went to high school with that were at different colleges, and I got them to invite everyone they knew. So I got up to like 30,000 people in this event group.
Wow.
And I got all my friends to change their profile picture to the album cover.
Yeah.
So I was just doing this kind of marketing, like guerrilla marketing,
Yeah.
guerrilla online marketing. And then I would go on AIM, and I would just go through each person on AIM and send the thing to them and type a message, and all that doesn't work if the music isn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people
for
like
sure.
the music. They connected with it in a way. Look, I'd already been making music for 12 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I knew something was different with this project and
Yeah.
cooler than me.
Mhm.
It was like, oh, I've made something that's like, whether I've gotten better or I just stumbled upon something people
Mhm.
connect with.
Gold.
I knew it was different.
Yeah.
Because then they would show it to people, and like people that didn't know me at all, even though like 3-4 degrees of separation, they started to share it just on their own.
Damn. That's
So-
awesome.
So that year in college, I would get put, like, fraternities started trying to book me to like play at their frat party at like University of Dayton or these other colleges. But I'd go there, and it'd be small, like 50, maybe 100 people, but they all knew the words to everything.
Damn.
Wow. Was this MySpace back then?
MySpace.
Okay. Yeah.
MySpace. And so that was kind of how it started. And then by the time I was finishing college, like, I was getting offers for record deals and stuff. Like,
Wild.
like I had a meeting with Jay-Z my junior year.
Holy shit.
Epic, dude.
It was crazy. And I had this double life. Like, I would go to class, and then Thursday I would leave. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'd play a show at 3 different colleges. I had no manager and no like tour manager, just me
doing
out
it.
there. And I'd come back with like $16,000 cash.
Wow.
Like,
Let's go.
you know, like,
Fuck. I
Take
wish
it to
we
the
would have done
bank, you know?
the iTunes U.
Yeah.
No, but also like I mean I've never really been into. I've always liked hip hop and I like rap, but I've never like followed it. But I know that song.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that I think you were right and you touched on very briefly is marketing is awesome, but you have to have a product.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Because all 30,000 people would have gone to that, event or group or whatever you made, but they wouldn't have all then reshared it if it was like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came out with something really dope and well composed and made, and you had a lot of passion in it, and it showed.
Thank
and then
you.
you put like all of your I would say like all of your experiences of like hustling mixtapes and stuff into getting the word out and marketing it, and it goes to show like you put a lot of hard work and energy into like just that expansion right there, that like with the product being good, it's like it just blew up.
Yeah. I had a rule. I remember being in my dorm room because I'm still going to Duke.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
still
I'm
in
supposed
school,
to be
yeah.
like focused on classes, but I had a rule for myself. I said, every day I have to do something that advances this music career thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just got to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Remember my buddies where they were like going abroad. You know, when people go abroad
Yeah.
in their junior year, they're like going to Barcelona, and I was like, I think I gotta stay and just see what happens with this.
Smart, man.
Yeah. So I had that rule, like every day, whether it was make a new song or just work on the outreach, get it out more or something. So that's what I did.
It goes to show too, it's like you can do things side by side as long as you have that rule. It's
Yeah.
like if you have to work a 9 to 5 to keep food on your table and pay for rent and stuff, but you have this other passion in your life that you're
Yeah.
working for. It's like you just divvy up, structure some time to this passion,
Right.
and still get the stuff done that you have to do. But like another thing that you have to do is put an hour or 2 hours or
Right.
whatever on this passion to make
Right.
it the best that it can be. Like you
Right.
can do that
Yeah.
and be
I
successful.
had another rule too, was just like if something could turn into something, you gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I had someone got me a meeting with Scooter Braun and Asher Roth.
Mm-hmm.
Scooter was managing Asher Roth, and one person got me meeting with Scooter, and one person got me meeting with Asher, and they didn't know about it. So I like, Scooter was like, "You're meeting with Asher?" I'm like, "Yeah." But the rule was, if it could turn into something, you had to do it. And I remember the meetings were, wow, I was supposed to go on this like trip with my buddies, like this road trip that we'd planned for like a year pretty much. And I was like, "Listen, I gotta try. I can't go on the road trip. I actually gotta go on a road trip from Detroit. I gotta drive to Atlanta and go see what happens." And I went and basically, like, long story short, in my meeting with Scooter, he managed me for like a second, and then it didn't work out. So I was like, that didn't turn into anything. But then 6 years later, I had Cooler Than Me. I had Please Don't Go, and then my career had cooled off just a little bit. My solo career, I was at a Clippers game. I saw Scooter Braun. I hadn't seen Scooter Braun in like 8 or 9 years. I knew he was managing Justin Bieber now. I was like, "Hey, man, you should let me." I don't know why I said it, bro. I had the balls, dude. Chutzpah. I was like, "Hey, man, you should let me write for Justin Bieber. I'll knock it out of the park." I had never written songs for other people. I never really done that.
Yeah.
I just said it to him. And he was like, "All right, well, come to my house, play me some songs." And then that's how we got "If I Was Your Boyfriend, Never Let You Go." And so I went and played him that song, and then that became Justin's song.
Crazy.
So anyways, it's all I say. Sometimes something looks like it turned into nothing, but years later,
Yeah.
it turns into something.
Yeah.
But now I resonate a lot with what you were saying about the guilt of like, not doing, because I'm 37. I'm like, I'm about to get married. I'm starting a family. So there's other parts of my life.
Yeah.
This comes from, you ever heard of the wheel? The like wheel of life? I think it comes from Zig Ziglar.
Tell us.
Basically, if you want to have an extraordinary life, there's like, it's not unlimited categories that you need to master. There's like 7.
Okay.
Maybe it's like +1 or plus or -1 for other human beings. But like most people care about like these main 7 things. It's physical vitality. It's romantic intimacy, like with your partner. It's great friendships, family. It's spiritual growth, giving back, and financial abundance. 7.
Yeah.
Maybe you got one more you can think of. Maybe you have one less that you don't care about. Whatever. But so maybe it's 6. Whatever. But it's like 7 for most people.
Yeah.
So
I would put artistic outlet in there.
yeah, you have it, right?
But otherwise, I think that's about
Oh,
it.
I forgot. I don't think I said mission. Did I say mission?
No, but that's your.
But that's one of them.
Yeah.
Work and mission are one of
Yeah.
them. Sorry, so if I forgot that, maybe it's 8. The point is, you want to be a master of all of them.
Yeah.
And they're never going to be perfectly even at any stage in your life. There's always going to be focuses. But most people, and this is what I did, all through my 20s, which mysteriously seemed to last into my 30s at the beginning, right? Was I was really great at mission and artistic output, as you say. Like I was a 10 there. And I thought being an 11 there, like being famous and recognized, I thought the points carried over. Like, oh, I don't have to like call my mom back right now. Like, surely since I'm pop star Mike Posner, everyone's gonna just like give me sort of a mulligan for and understand like why I can't do anything in any of the other areas. And I sort of like in my early 30s, I realized when I learned this, I think it was, I was maybe like 33 when I learned this. I'm like, oh, I want to master all the areas. So I still will sometimes have that voice going like, you should be playing guitar 4 hours a day. Because I used to do that. I used to wake up and just play guitar like for hours practicing. And sometimes I can't do that now because I have other obligations.
That's what I think your 20s are for.
That is what they're for. Go hard in one area, like master it. But all that to say, now when I'm with my mom, I'm being productive. I'm not being productive in all areas, but in the area of family, I'm being productive.
Yeah. No, that's smart.
But I feel like you have to, and it's kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like I view the world like an RPG game, right? And so what we're kind of saying here is like your 20s are for maxing out your experience points, and whatever the thing is that you can then sort of ride to take you into your 30s and 40s. And so you don't have to, but if you can get really, really good at something, you will figure out how to monetize it. Don't get into it for the money, but get into it because it's the thing that you're obsessed with and you got to do it. And then that becomes the thing that then becomes the foundation, lays the foundation for you then to work on those other things. That's maybe the way that I guess all three of us have done it. But for some people, it might be, like I didn't get married when I was 18 or have a kid when I was 18. Some people had, so they would have to then, I would imagine.
When did you get married?
I've been married for 13 years.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So I was 25 when I got married. My wife is my pastry chef. So her and I have worked. We opened our first restaurant together 13 years ago.
Wow.
So we have been on this sort of, we both spent our 20s maxing out our experience points in restaurants and cooking. And now we have a foundation to which, we have a 3.5-year-old daughter and, other things.
That's beautiful.
We were talking about it like a week or so ago, but I feel like, when you've worked so hard to build kind of the career that you've built, there's a point at a certain age you have to, and it doesn't happen for everybody, but there's a certain age where you have to kind of come into terms with like, what is your future and what you're working on now, and not feel guilty for not being able to perform that thing anymore.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You can.
You can,
but it just comes at expense,
Yeah,
exactly.
I could be doing that. I'd just be alone.
For sure. And it kind of, and it all kind of comes down to like where you are at now, right? And what your priorities are, or what your future
That's right.
has for you,
That's right.
So once you, we skipped a little bit over, from, you get Sean to Big Sean to do it. You sort of blow up on the Apple U or iTunes U. You start getting, you mentioned you started getting, label attention. But then what happens next? Like, how do you actually, how do you take it from that to wherever you go?
Yeah. So I did a record deal, and then we sort of re-released Cooler Than Me, which had been out for a few years in the college scene. And I remember my manager at the time, his name was Daniel Weissman. He goes, for your first like major album, we should make Cooler Than Me the first single. I remember we were in New York on the sidewalk, and I said, we can't make Cooler Than Me the first single. I go, it's 2 years old and everyone's heard it. And he looked me in the eye and he goes, nobody's heard it. I thought because like my little college buzz,
I laugh because I completely relate with that. You think it's like, no. The world is a lot bigger than your circle.
So anyways, long story short, we kind of redid Cooler Than Me and put it out, and then it
blew up
really big.
Yeah.
And I became this 22-year-old like people were calling the next Justin Timberlake, and man, I just was like so high on my own supply. I was like in the gym just like doing biceps.
So you were 22 when that happened.
I think so. Yeah, man. I was such a douchebag, dude. I had like Louis Vuitton belt on, and like I just thought I was the man, but it was all sort of like an armor.
Yeah.
Because there was like a deep insecurity underneath that I felt like since middle school. And I thought, getting famous would like change that. Because I thought surely that will change, that will give me more confidence to just be in the world and like feel sure of myself. But it's a tale as old as time. Everyone knows it, but it just didn't change my moment to moment experience of life. It got kind of more complicated because then I was like popular. But it was really strange. It was like overwhelming. I was used to not being popular,
Yeah.
And I don't want to say like I feel like it's such a cliche to be like, yeah, I got popular, but I didn't like it because it kind of sounds noble. It's like, no, I loved it.
Yeah.
Part of me loved it, and then a part of me just felt the same as I always felt. It was just really lonely.
Like nothing changed.
Yeah, lonely, depression, all that stuff, and I remember after Cooler Than Me, we put out a song, Please Don't Go, which was a successful song, but not as successful as Cooler Than Me. And then my third single was the same. It was like less successful than the first two. And it just sort of like petered out. And it got to a point where my record label like really, they couldn't really justify like, because it costs money to release a song. If you work with a producer, you have to pay the producer. If you work to get it mixed, you know, to market it. So it got to the point where they couldn't justify spending the marketing dollars. They're like, we don't think we're gonna make our money back. So it kind of just like held me in the music industry. It's called getting shelved. So I was shelved, and I'd made like a few $1 million, and I went from like being so busy, like going all around the world, touring, crowd surfing, all that stuff, and then like my calendar was just empty.
Fuck.
I didn't know what to do. And it was really painful, but it was a really healthy thing because I realized my identity had got so tied up, and I thought I was this thing, Mike Posner, this like young pop star, and then like that slowly those things started to get taken away, and I was like, dude, I'm not those things. So then it was like, well, what am I?
Yeah.
And I started searching. Well, if like the fame and the money and all that stuff wasn't going to change how I felt inside and my moment-to-moment experience of life, what will? And that started this like decade-long quest of doing a lot of type of stuff we've been talking about, meditation retreats. I mean, I've spent 2 months of my life now in complete, utter silence and solitude.
Really?
Yeah.
Cumulatively or
Cumulative.
Okay.
Cumulative. But the longest 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks alone with my holy books and my meditation and my thoughts.
Do you go to like a cabin or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But at a cabin, it's like set up to do that. Where they like drop food off in a box, but you don't see people. And
Wow.
a lot of stuff, like going to train with Wim Hof for weeks. Like just trying to find the answers and trying to find what made me feel good. I found a lot of like great tools.
Yeah.
And but it was like a slog because I'd find these things and I think like, oh, this is it, you know, like meeting Ram Dass or whatever. Like, man, I'd feel really great for like a few weeks, and then I kind of like slip back into the old thing. And when I really looked back on my life, like I was really selfish. All my life was just really about me. It was like about being relevant on the scene. I was like scrounging around West Hollywood trying to find like my next hit of fame and relevance. And I did things that hurt people a lot. Like I got HPV, and on one of these meditation retreats I realized like I want to say like unconscious. I was consciously unconscious. Like I was just like super selfish guy, but I'd had sex with like 6 women while I had that. I remember finishing that retreat and like calling them all back, being like, "Yo, I did this. I'm so sorry."
Make amends.
Yeah, I don't know if you can make amends, but you know, it's like, but that's the kind of guy I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like weird because I was like I was already inspiring people. I had already walked across America once.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But part of me was like, I was growing.
Yeah.
In some like parts of my life, I was actually like making a difference in other people's lives. But then in other parts, I was like still completely selfish. My life was about me, and I'd hurt people. And it was almost like I was on, like, what do you call it? Like robot mode. What is that called?
Hypnosis?
Like, yeah, I was just
Autopilot.
Autopilot.
Yeah,
That's the word.
yeah.
I was like on autopilot a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so, it's just been a long journey. But yeah, like, I think faith and a little help from Tony, you know, it's like I woke up and I'm not that guy anymore.
But I think you always need something to be working on.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
and so like that's that's part of the game. The game of life is to work on yourself until you're done. But when you're done is when you die.
Yeah.
And so also by I mean, you wouldn't be able to inspire people if you yourself weren't human.
For sure.
Right. So you have to, whether it's public or not, and you're making it public either here or in the past, but like whether it's public or not, you have to act like a human, and humans are inherently selfish. And I mean that in a positive way, because I don't view selfishness as a negative. I view selfishness as just a true fact.
Yeah.
My wife.
It could be really healthy at an appropriate time.
My wife, who is incredibly selfless, and she has selfless tattooed on her, she's had more than one birthday where she has all of her friends come to the women's shelter, and we cook, for the women's shelter.
That's beautiful.
And that is a very selfless act, except that it makes her feel very good, which is selfish.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, and I'm just putting it out there because a lot of people hear the word selfish and they just think, oh, that's bad. But the way as you recognize very quickly.
Maybe it's like unbridled selfishness was what I was referring to. But because you're right. It'd be appropriate time to be selfish,
But everything you do, you hand a guy $1 on the street. If it didn't make you feel good to do it, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? So inherently we are selfish. But learning how to channel the selfishness into a selfless act is part of the game of figuring out life and growing. But again, back to, you've got to be a human who's maybe at a more advanced level than those that you're inspiring, but you're still human and you're still playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely human, man. I'm super flawed.
But it seems like I would imagine you found the ability and the tools to give yourself grace to be human.
I'm learning that. I'm learning to do that better. I'm learning to do that more efficaciously, and I think I'm inspiring also. In my best moments. So I think it's both.
Yeah.
And I think I have an interesting. I think God's using me, and I think I have an interesting testimony because I had like fame and riches,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't fill me up. So I think some people I think hear that message from me and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think where they like, if they hear their parents say it, they don't. Because I remember my parents told me that money doesn't buy happiness. I'm like, you guys aren't rich though.
You don't know.
I'm like, how do you know? So I don't know. I think I have an interesting testimony in life that I think being honest about even my mistakes can be of service to others. I hope.
Yeah.
That's why I came here today.
No, yeah, I appreciate you sharing all of this with us because it is true. It's like each person's story is different. You know what I mean? It's like not everyone's going to get happiness from money and fame, right? And money and fame.
Nobody is.
And
they might get a hit. They're not going to get like.
Yeah.
I could see that. I think a lot of it too comes down to like mindset and like kind of what has been built over the years as well. I can't say guaranteed that, someone that didn't have anything growing up gets a little bit of money and then now they could buy some things that make them happy and now they're happy. I can't say that it wouldn't make them happy, but I do feel that everyone's story is different.
Yeah.
And I think it's very inspirational that, you come out and you're telling your story, which is like, no matter you hit the top, right? No matter how much you can make and the fame, like it didn't change like that foundation, right? It didn't change how you felt.
No.
Inside.
And to push back, like I know some of those people from the music industry that grew up with nothing. And there's two types of them. Some of them grow up and they have all this money and they're still miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And they want more because it like got trapped in the cycle of more.
Yeah,
and getting more is not bad. And getting money, like I'm all for it. Like I love getting a bunch of money. Yeah, give me more. You know what I mean? But there's other people. I think if I can break down what you're talking about,
Mhm.
you said they came up with less, and they acquire, and that might make them happy. But it's not actually the money that's making them happy. It'd be a sense of gratitude,
Gratitude, yeah.
right? Because I've seen those people too
Yeah.
that grew up with nothing, and then they hit it big, and there's a joy about them, but they're actually grateful for what they have
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
And so it's not the money that's, and we can't measure this, but I bet if I went and looked at them before they had the money, I bet they were already grateful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could be, yeah.
And so I think that's what it is. It's the quality of your life, like the quality of your emotional home. And it's possible to raise your emotional home.
Yeah.
I've done that in my life.
Mhm.
My home used to be like depressed, cynical.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like joy, happiness, laughter.
Yeah.
I'm not there all the time, dude. I dip down and like,
Human.
and sometimes I go above. I'm like, you know?
Yeah.
But the home base, you can move. You can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so
Well, the
I
idea,
just want people to know that.
the idea of
Yeah.
more
I
money,
love
more
that.
problems, right? That
I just think it's just a different vertical. It means like it's all meaning, you know. So I actually don't agree with that either, right? It's like you make more money, it doesn't make you less happy to have more money.
no,
That's an excuse.
but
you know?
but here's the thing that I think as I was listening to the two of you talk, more money, more problems kept popping into my head, and I think it relates
like the
to
song, or
Yeah.
just the quote,
the quote
or the video.
Yeah.
BIGPOPPA, no info for the DEA. By the way, is that the hardest beginning of a verse ever? Gosh, Biggie was good.
But I think what
How do you think of that? Can we linger there? Enough of this deep stuff, dude. This guy, this man heard that beat and he went, I know what I'm going to say. BIGPOPPA, no info for the DE. Bro, it's so good.
I mean,
That is a good one.
some
That
people
is
are just
so
people are
good.
just very good, and it just comes to them. I mean, I often and now we're gonna go off on this tangent because we've got.
You can make your point. I'm sorry.
No.
I did.
I'm sure we'll get back to it at some point. But I think, how did he come up with that? People will ask me, how did I come up with this dish? And I have almost the same answer every time. They'll be like, how long did it take? And I go, well, I've been doing this for 20 years and I came up with it yesterday, so 20 years, right? The idea is like, if you were to ask,
Just a tad pretentious.
it's not pretend. No, but
That's what Picasso said about his
yes,
napkin hit.
but like, okay, take a look at someone like Eric Clapton. If you can't,
I know
there's
it's
no
true. I'm
vac-
teasing
Yeah,
you.
but not everyone listening does. So like, I think that if you were to ask someone like Eric Clapton, how'd you come up with that riff? It's not that it's like, well, I've been playing with this for a couple of years and this, and it's just the answer is it's the next thing for me to do based on the collective experience I've had in this art form. And so like, I don't think that somebody wakes up one day in 9th grade with no past and writes that verse, right? It's the collective of getting there.
Yep.
That then it's the next step for him, and for him, I'm sure it was just like, yeah, no, that it came to me. How did it come to
Probably
you?
went
Yeah.
fast.
Because where
I hear stories about him.
like I couldn't sit down and
Fast.
do that, you know.
Federal agents mad because I'm flagrant. Gosh. He was on another level.
So how did you, from what I understand, you went through some trauma, and that took you to sort of make a decision of sort of like exit the limelight and go walk around the fucking world, right? How does that come about?
Well, first of all, I went through, I would call it like little T trauma.
Mhm.
You know, like nobody beat or me or me. So it's like,
Sure.
I just want to put that in context.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, but the worst
Oh,
thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Right.
So it's all relative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was an idea I had for years. I was in my friend's jewelry shop, and she said, my friend just walked across America. And I went, dude. I was like, you can do that? And she goes, I guess so. He just did it. And I remember I said in the jewelry shop, I'm like, I'm going to do that one day. And the sentence sort of lingered in the jewelry shop as if it was a fart that no one wanted to claim. And no one said anything. And no one really cared. And that taught me a lesson. It's like, no one cares about the thing you say you're going to do one day.
Mm-hmm.
Not even you, really. People care, or you care about the thing like you're doing.
Yeah.
And so it took me 5 years. I kept putting it off. And then I think what you're referring to is like I had a couple friends pass away. My friend Avicii died. And then my peer, he wasn't a close friend, but he was a guy who like kind of had the same job as me with like more or less the same timeline, was Mac Miller. And then he died. And then my father died. And for anyone listening that has had someone pass away or been close to death themselves, they know it can be this great clarifying factor. You know, it could really put in perspective like what really matters. Because we sort of like can emphasize what I would call secondary goals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you know, like, I'm projecting on you, like grow the podcast or you know, like create the menu change or whatever it is in your world. For me, it could be like, you know, like sell out this concert or whatever. These are all secondary goals. Like primary goals is like love your wife, love your child, right? Like those are like
stay alive,
deathbed, you know, deathbed. Like what matters?
Oh,
you're not gonna think about the dish. I'm not gonna be thinking about the show in 2026. How many? It's sold out 75% or 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you encounter death, if it gives you this opening where it's, hey, this is actually what matters.
Yeah.
So these people, they were dying, and then I remember I kept thinking like, I gotta walk across America. I gotta do this because I'm gonna die too one day, and this is either gonna happen or it's not in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So either do it or quit like saying you're gonna do it one day, because this thing ends. So that year I decided I wasn't going to go on tour. I was going to try to traverse from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean on foot. And I told my manager, and like he's just like, I think this is a crazy idea. It's like not.
As any person would say.
That sounds so gnarly to me.
I don't think this is like a good idea. It's bad, you know, like you might mess up your career. I don't think anyone's going to care, which kind of hit me in my soft spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of me was learning to not care and like break away from this
need to do things that others would.
Yeah, and this track,
admire.
of what my life was supposed to be. Like I'm supposed to go on, like if I listen to my agents, managers, I'm gonna make album tour until I die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make the most money and die. That was supposed to be my like life track.
Yeah.
And so in one respect, I was learning to break away from that, which took great courage for me.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Relative, right?
Yeah.
I'm not comparing it to like, you know, like a soldier or something, but it took courage for me. And, but part of me still wanted like that thing doesn't just like die that day. It's like, I still wanted.
Had you already been like
I still wanted attention.
Had you already been an athlete or an endurance guy? Like, were you already walking marathons?
I ran track in high school. And in cross country in high school. But yeah, it hit me in that spot because part of me still like I wanted to act like I didn't care anymore and have people care because I was acting like I didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there was that streak in there. And so they told me it's a crazy idea, and I like wasn't sure. I asked my friend Elliot. I'm like, "Yo, dude, my manager says it's a crazy idea." He goes, "That's great news." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "It's great news. Your manager thinks it's crazy." I'm like, "How is that great news?" He's like, "You gotta understand, not all crazy ideas are great, but all great ideas are crazy."
That's true.
I'm like, "Wow, I think I'm gonna do this." So I went out there and I went to Asbury Park on the Atlantic Ocean, and then I still have all this like fear and doubt, like my thoughts, other people's thoughts. You ever start thinking other people's thoughts? You know, like we think like our thoughts are so unique, but a lot of times they're not even ours. They're like thoughts I think are kind of like hit songs. Like they have this life form, they explode to like prominence, and then they kind of have like a tail, but they expand like across. So it's almost like a virus. A thought, like they go in and out of style, certain thoughts. And so anyways, I was thinking other people's thoughts, like maybe this is a stupid idea, but then I got in that water and I took a step, and it kind of all like dissipated because I wasn't thinking about doing it anymore. I was doing it.
You started by actually putting your feet in the water of the ocean?
Yeah, that was important to me.
Epic.
That's sick.
That was important to me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to start like just in New Jersey. I wanted to go ocean to ocean.
Yeah, wild.
Had you trained for this?
Yeah, I read this book called How to Walk Across America and Not Be an Asshole. I forgot the guy who wrote it.
Is that really the name of the book?
Yep. It was like a guidebook from somebody who did it.
Oh,
Wild.
And so I read that. I interviewed people that had done it. Because about 10, I don't, maybe it's increased since then or decreased, but about 10 to 15 people do it per year. So I interviewed a few of them, got advice, and did what they said would prepare me as much as you can, because you can't really prepare. And started.
How do you? So I'm
It's
just very
so crazy
baffled.
to try to like, because there's one conversation about like that I'm happy to have about like, you know, how many miles a day, how many shoes I wore,
Yeah.
etc. But like the main point is like it's so crazy to step in a section of your life where you're doing something other people believe is maybe stupid, but you're convinced is utterly beautiful, but you're not sure you can do it, and you have no right or experience to draw upon saying you can, other than faith. And maybe like, is that faith delusion? You don't know, but you're like gonna step into this thing and you don't know what's gonna happen, but you know it's gonna stretch you, and you know you've never done anything like it before, and you know the stakes are such that if you pull it off, the limitations and like guardrails are about who you think you are will be obliterated, because it makes no sense with your life track so far. So it's like this act, like boom, like it destroys the story that was being written with your life thus far. And like to be on that edge of life is a feeling like I wish everyone could have, because you're like alive. I remember I'm on this I'm like 2/3 of the way through, and like by then like my beard is nasty, and like I smell and I don't care, and I'm just like found this stronger part of myself. And I remember somebody texted me like, hey, there's this movie on Netflix you should watch, it's really inspiring, about like a guy who did this like running stuff. And I'm like, I remember I got that text, I'm like, that's my fucking life now.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch Netflix to get inspired. I just need to wake up and look at what I'm doing.
Just do it.
Were you
Like-
camping, or were you staying in hotels, or?
No, sometimes we camped, and then we had a support vehicle, a RV.
Yeah.
So that would go ahead of us. When I say us, it was me. I say us because I just did another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I just did another hike where I'd had a partner.
Yeah.
So on that one, it was just me, but it would go ahead of me, and then I'd walk. That one's usually 24 miles, and I'd catch up to it. It would meet me at certain points, give me refill and water.
Refill, eat some
And then-
food.
And then
And
sleep in the.
I'd mostly
bus?
sleep in it. I wish I camped more, actually,
Yeah.
because it was too hot in there. I think I actually would have performed better if I slept outside.
Wow. How long did it take you?
That one took 6 months and 3 days.
Jesus.
Wild. Just straight.
When I got bit by the rattlesnake 2/3 of the way through. So,
Was it just like on the road? or
yeah, it was like
something?
on the
Just-
side of the road, and
Like it popped up.
It bit me like I sort of like blacked out. Came back to,
Oh,
called
shit.
911. I asked dispatch, saying, "Am I gonna die?" And the lady's like, "I don't know."
Fuck.
So it was like a serious thing. I thought like because they have anti-venom,
Yeah.
I felt like you get that and I'd be back out the next
Just
day.
cruising.
It's not like that. It's like my legs swelled to like an
Anti
elephant
venom
trunk.
means you don't die. It doesn't
You
mean
don't
you're
die.
back on your feet.
You don't die. And if you get it soon enough, you don't lose your leg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got it soon enough, like man, praise God, I
sure.
healed. Like medical care I got, it all healed, but then I had to decide.
Do I want to keep going?
Yeah, because when I got hurt, I got probably like the most famous I'd ever been to that point. They got picked up by TMZ and ABC, all these things. It's like mainstream news that I got bit by a snake. And so the whole thing I was like trying to get away from, but I knew kind of was still there inside me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I look like someone who has absolved himself from his selfishness and his like addiction to fame.
Mm-hmm.
But inside I knew like, hey man, I'm looking at these numbers on Instagram. Right? It's like,
But in doing so, you skyrocket.
well, so yeah, I get hurt, and then I skyrocket from getting hurt, and I'm getting a lot of attention. Even in my personal life, people want to take care of me. They're cooking for me. Also, now I'm not outside anymore. I'm in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
And this was a good lesson though, because at that time I still thought attention was the same thing as love.
Mm-hmm.
Attention is not love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people will settle for attention, but they really want love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was getting a ton of attention, and it was like kind of like, well, okay, forget about your thoughts on stuff. Like, is this about just getting attention? Because if so, be done.
Yeah.
You won.
You got the attention.
Yeah. Like John Mayer, all these people that I like looked up to. Like, I love John Mayer. He's a big musical like hero of mine. I think he's just a genius. Like, he's DMing me, and like David Goggins was DMing me, like another
Damn.
hero of mine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but he wasn't DMing me the day before I got bit by the snake. He was DMing me like, and I had to decide, like, am I gonna stay home and quit? Because I have the best reason to quit of all time. Like, it was such a good reason to quit. Most people wouldn't even consider me a quitter.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it was like, this is a crossroads moment. I'm either gonna go back to West Hollywood and live a life that's all about getting people to like me,
Mm-hmm.
and know that I didn't finish the thing that was really going to change my life,
Mm-hmm.
or I was going to walk the remaining 1,000 miles.
How long were you out of service for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
It's fast, dude. Because
Did-
they told me it was going to be months.
Did you do the 3 weeks where it happened, or did you fly home for that 3 weeks?
I was in the hospital 5 days, and then I flew home. Yeah.
And then as soon as you were recovered, flew back to where you were and kept going?
Flew back,
Epic.
went to the spot, pissed on it,
Yes.
and then kept taking
Continued
steps.
on.
Walked up and over the Rocky Mountains, walked across Colorado, walked across Navajo Nation, walked across Arizona, kept taking steps. So I walked across Mojave Desert.
Did you carry anti-venom with you this time?
No, because it's like a really expensive. It's like $20,000 a vial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really expensive medication, and it's not like over the counter.
You can't return it if you don't use it.
I don't think so. I don't know. I started wearing big snake gaiters.
I would
They look like
imagine.
shin guards.
Yeah.
Went up to my knees. I walked the remaining 1,000 with those on, and then eventually got to the Pacific Ocean, and dove in face first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah. That's
is-
like a not a damn chance story right there.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if you're gonna, first of all, you have to have that mindset to even start something like that, and you definitely have to have that mindset to finish something like that.
To return after
Yeah.
getting bedridden for 3 weeks with venom.
I think that's probably right. I'm jumping around the timeline. I hope that's okay. But this
Of
year
course.
I did the Continental Divide Trail. So that
Mhm.
trail goes from the Canadian border, and it zigzags, stays in the mountains for almost 3,000 miles, depending on the route you take. It could be over 3,000 miles. Most people do about 2,800. It zigzags all in the mountains through Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico to the Mexican border. And so you said, like, you need the not a damn chance mindset to even start. This one that I just did, I got out there and I thought, like, because it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
I thought, like, you know, that dog mindset. is
Like,
just
I fucking done this.
yeah, I thought it was going to be there, like, for me to just put on. It wasn't there. So I started, I didn't have it. I got hurt, like, the second day because I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. I was arrogant. Like, my knee tore muscle in my quad, like mild tear, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying. I don't want to over exaggerate it. So I had a minor injury that like needed like 2 weeks to heal, but winter was coming, and I was doing it with a partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, dude, I can't make him stop. I wanted him to stop at first. I asked him to stop, and he was like, dude, I don't really want to stop. You know, we're both gonna fail because winter's gonna hit, and we don't even know how long it's gonna take you to heal. And I was kind of like, yeah, you're right. It took me a while to pull my head on my butt. So I crewed him for 2 weeks, and I came back, and it was just horrible. Like, it just hurt so bad. Like, I was blisters. Like, I got double shin splints. And I'd just be walking out there, and this one's harder. Like, it's way more mountainous every day. Like, climb sometimes 9,000 feet of gain in a day, and we were doing it faster. So we're doing 30 miles a day, sometimes 40. And I was like, where is that thing that I uncovered? Like, because it wasn't there. I was walking, and I'd be on like mile 8, and I'm like, I'm gonna quit today. And the rest of the day, I just I was just rehearsing what I was gonna say on Instagram to tell everyone I quit. What I was gonna say to my fiance. I was just doing the speech in my head, like, for hours. And so sometimes you start, but you don't even know why you're starting. It's just like a pull.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't have that mindset when you start, but you uncover it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do have that mindset when you start, but you uncover something else. That's the point of the journey.
Yeah.
And so this one, it took me like 2 months to uncover it. The thing was only 3 months long.
Wow.
You know?
So you're just suffering for the first
I was
two.
suffering. And I was feeling bad for myself. And it just took me a while to get to that thing, but I got it.
Yeah.
I found it, but I definitely didn't have it at the start. You know?
So
But it's there. It's there.
Just deep
And
in. You just gotta find
but
it.
the lesson of that whole thing is like this is a muscle.
Yeah.
It's not like this thing you uncover. You do your walk across America, and then you just have it
And
the
then
rest of
you're
your
good.
life.
Mm.
No, you gotta cultivate it.
Yeah.
I gotta find a way now. I just finished a month ago to bring that into my normal life,
Mhm.
where I don't go 6 years and like
Mhm.
everything's better when I'm in touch with that thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Are you now going to continue on this sort of like doing these long walks, or is there something else you're looking forward to doing, or?
Well, I'm writing a book right now. So I'm my goals for this year in the work part of my life are to finish my book and to share the gifts God's given me with my music. So I'll be touring this year, and,
Nice.
and I'm putting out new music.
Awesome.
And laying the foundation for a family. So
Yeah.
I think that might be the last like multi-month expedition
You do
for
for
a while.
minute? Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think it's important for me to find ways to
Push yourself and
yeah.
Yeah.
So
find
I'm
yourself.
like this year I signed for an ultra race, which I've never done before. People always been asking me like, you should get into ultra running. I always been like, I'm not interested in a race, man. I'm like walking across the continent. That's cool. You know, it's like. But I think finding ways, because that also we didn't talk about, but I also climbed Mount Everest.
Oh, that's gnarly.
I did that 4 or 5 years ago, and
which was more gnarly?
so I've done 3 big expeditions in my life,
Mm-hmm.
physical ones. One was a walk across America, one was climbing Everest, and then most recently the Continental Divide Trail. Everest is by far the most dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was like, dude, I want to push myself. When I finished that, I was like, I want to keep this thing alive,
Mm-hmm.
this muscle, but I don't want to be almost dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exploring myself. There are some things that are I believe we as like men should be ready to die for,
Mm-hmm.
but they're all other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like your wife,
Your family.
Yeah, your family.
Yeah.
Like we would all, in a second, if someone was like threatening
Mhm.
someone in our family, all 3 of us, we wouldn't have to think about it. We'd die for them. Those are like, I would say, in my humble opinion, those are like
Definitely.
valiant reasons
Mhm.
to give up your life.
Yes.
Self-exploration, from where I sit now, it's not a good reason to die,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it actually hurts the people in your life.
For sure.
There's a thin, so I had to figure out that balance, you know, because I climbed Everest. I could have died. You know, things could go sideways there real quick.
Did you have some close calls?
I had one. Yeah, I was at Camp 2, and an avalanche slid and almost hit us. And basically it stopped short of us. But what happens is when all that snow moves, it displaces a ridiculous amount of air.
Mm-hmm.
So we got hit with basically like a air explosion.
Oh wow!
Because the avalanche goes whoo,
Yeah.
and then all this air goes wham, and it ripped open my tent. Like snow started flowing in, and I was asleep, so I thought just the avalanche was hitting. I was like, I'm for sure dead. I didn't think I might die. I'm like, I'm dead.
Wow.
So I guess that was a close call. I thought
That's a
it was
close
good.
fucking call.
Yeah. And yeah, you know, it's like I want to keep. That's where I'm at now. It's like I want to keep this muscle alive, but I don't really want to risk my life.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's fair. Well, I mean, it took, you know.
But then you asked me what was the hardest.
Yeah.
The hardest one was the thing I just did, because I overestimated how much my prior 2 expeditions were going to help me on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was arrogant. And I went out on the second day. I tried to do 30 miles, and I got hurt.
You can't have an
And
ego
I should have
versus
been
the
doing.
world.
I should have been doing 15 miles.
Yeah.
And I would have
Slowly
been.
build up.
I would have been doing 30 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead, I got hurt, and now there's 400 miles I didn't do, and I gotta go back and do those next year.
Oh,
So I'm not even done.
Damn. Let's go.
You know, so it's lessons to all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that lesson on that one was also like humility,
Mhm.
patience. So that's a big theme for me this year.
Wow. Well, now that we're starting to, you know, talk about what you're going to be doing next year, as I mentioned earlier, we always have only one question planned.
Oh, this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
We made it.
We made it. Well, almost. Let's see if we can finish it. Magic lamp on the table. Genie comes out. You get to perform a wish, and that wish is to design what your life, what your universe, what your reality looks like 10 years from now.
Oh,
Where are you? What are you doing? Keeping in mind that this is a complete hypothetical that you can design whatever you want.
yeah. I'll start with the States, you know, because, like I said, the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. So I want the primary emotions to be gratitude, patience, fulfillment, faith. So that's what I want to feel on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And on the outside, I think I probably, hopefully, got like 2-3 kiddos running around.
Hell yeah.
That my wife and I are just like in an unimaginably deep place in our relationship, and I feel really good in my body, and then my life's really just not about. It's about other people and serving, and I hope that I'm doing that in. Not hope. I'm doing that through my music, through writing, and through maybe some ways I don't even know yet. But all that, or even better. Amen.
I love that. Hell yes.
Hell yeah. Well, this has been an awesome conversation.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
I don't want them to find me.
You do have a show
That
coming
works
up in
too, right?
Austin, though,
I
you
don't
said,
want
right?
them to find me. No, I know what you mean. Online. My Instagram, my website.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird 'cause I have someone that manages it for me, so I write my like content, but I don't
Yeah.
go on there.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally I'll check in, like see if anyone I want to talk to DM me or something,
Yeah.
because sometimes good stuff happens through there.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. Yeah, and if I'm coming to a city near you, I would love to see people at concerts. They're so great, man.
Yeah.
You said you have a show coming up in Austin, right?
Austin's the December 26th. I don't know when you're airing this, but if it comes out before then, It's coming up soon, so I don't know if you will.
That's
sure.
in. Oh yeah, that's a couple of days.
Yeah, it'll probably be done.
Well,
Austin show was sick.
yeah. Well, I'll be there.
Yeah, come through, man.
Sick,
So it
man.
was yeah, I love being on stage.
Hell
you
yeah.
know? And I used to, when I was younger, I wanted everyone to look at me, and I'd measure the success of the show by how much they basically followed my directions.
Mhm.
When I said, put your hands up, like
Yeah.
what percentage did it? And if they all did it, then it was a good show. And now I'm like, man, success is really about the people actually look at each other
Mhm.
and look at themselves.
Mhm.
And so we mix in I mix in a lot of stuff that I've learned, whether it's from Tony or my meditation retreats, like in between the songs. Not too much where it's like a freaking, where'd I come? Like a Mike Posner speech.
It's sick.
But in a way that's really fun.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
and people leave, like, I hope my intention, I know I succeed sometimes when I do it right, is they leave more connected to themselves, more connected to the people they came with, and like more excited about life. So that's my goal.
Hell
with the
yeah.
That
shows.
was awesome.
Yeah.
man.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm excited to come check it out.
Yeah, same. Thank you, man. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming on.
Let's go.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Hit subscribe now if you want to follow along. We have some awesome guests lined up that we sit down with. Make sure you follow the Not a Damn Chance podcast on socials at NADC Podcast. We'll see you next week.